Hi friends, thought it'd be time for another Squint podcast. I'm a little bit late on this. I like to get them done on Sunday. But today's Monday, August 30th. We are almost finished with August. Amazing. I hope your summer's been fantastic. Mine has been really great, and just a season of life for me right now where I think I'm trying to listen to God's voice and learn what He has for me. So, that's how my summer's been. I don't know how yours has been, but I pray it's been good. All right, so today's passage, I've read this, I've heard this before. I don't think I've ever preached on it. This comes out of Isaiah chapter 61, and I'm just going to focus on part of verse 3 and verse 4. The context is God is letting His people Israel know that even though they have been, Isaiah writes to them during a time of captivity. They've been held captive by Assyria, Israel, Judah has been taken to Babylon. So they've had all these years of captivity, but Isaiah offers them hope. He speaks what God is offering the hope. Isaiah is the communicator, and he's offering them hope for better times. And he says that there will be a time when they will no longer be, he'll set the captives free. In fact, the Lord Jesus quotes that verse. He will bring freedom and set the captives free. People will be healed and so on and so forth. But now we want to get to the text. As God is doing this with Israel, His people in the Old Testament, it says in verse 3, the latter portion of verse 3, it says, they will be called those people of Israel, those who had been in prison, held captive, all those things. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of His splendor. They will rebuild the ancient ruins and restore the places long devastated, and they will renew the ruined cities that have been devastated for generations. So God is giving a message of hope to His people, and He's saying that, yeah, you were held captive and you've gone through all these horrible things, but guess what? There's a day coming when you will stand, you will be like oaks of righteousness, and people will see that you are a planting. You are this mighty oak, and you've been planted by the Lord. And that you, even though maybe you need to be rebuilt, maybe you need to be restored, maybe you need to be renewed, but the truth of the matter is, you will be this mighty oak, and you will rebuild, and you will restore, and you will renew. And so I thought, wow, what a message to His people. And that message rings true to us today. That it doesn't really matter how difficult our lives may have been, our experiences, what we've gone through. What matters is that if we will open our arms and our hands to the Lord and truly allow Him to work in our life, He will rebuild, okay? He will restore, He will renew our lives. He will make us mighty oaks, a mighty oak tree. And as mighty oaks, we will then have the opportunity, we will have the privilege, we'll have the capability through God working through us to rebuild other people's lives, to help restore what other people are missing out on, and help renew other people. We will be mighty oaks used of God to rebuild, to restore, to renew. I don't know about you, but that offers me just a lot of hope. As I'm going through my season of life, I want to be a mighty oak. I don't want to be some willow tree that's losing whatever, that doesn't look very strong. I want to be a mighty oak. And yes, I want God to rebuild and, what does He say? Rebuild and restore and renew in my life. But I want Him to use me to help others to rebuild their lives, to restore that which has been lost, and to help people renew themselves, to renew their faith in the Lord, to renew their relationships with one another, to rebuild, to restore, to renew, to be a mighty oak of righteousness, planted by the Lord. That is what I want to be. That's what God is telling His people Israel they can be and will be. And I pray that today, having heard this podcast, I pray that you will be a mighty oak used by God to rebuild to restore, and to renew. Have a fantastic last couple days of August, and we'll see you next week on Labor Day weekend. Bye, my friends.